I want to do a quick video about a couple different ways of tying up a gear. It could be a sleeping bag, could be a bedroll, blanket. In this case, this is just an old mattress. But the idea is the same, that you've got some type of roll you want to tie up. This is one of the bungees that I got for Christmas. It's easy, they're relatively cheap. The only my biggest issue with this is they're kind of limited to one size. It's a little bit short to go on this. I did manage to get it on, but I guess you could say it's not very bushcraft-like, but they do work, relatively cheap. And you can make these, replace this ball with a knot, and you can make them relatively easily. Then they'd be called a soft shackle. What I see on the internet, all the rage now, is people tying a knot. Some people call it a Woodsman zip tie. But they double their lines, come around their bedroll, and then they put a lark's head here. Let me show you that. So you just take their bite, bend it over, and then fold it in half. This is a lark's head. Now I got my two ends. One end is going to go this way, one end is going to go this way. I'm just going to start tightening all that down. The tighter I pull onto this, then I wouldn't bet my life on it, but you know, for holding a bedroll, it works. My issue with this is that if you don't know the knot that's here, or if your partner is now trying to get it undone, or someone else who doesn't understand this knot, then it's kind of cumbersome to see what has been done, and they're more likely to simply cut it apart. But all you would have to do would be to take this, and then it all comes apart relatively easily, if you understand the knot that's been done. I have done this with bank line, and it is not as easy to come apart. Bank line hooks onto itself much easier. The other knot that I like to do is called a jam knot, a Canadian jam knot, or an arbor knot. So all I've done in this case is I've taken my bank line, or taken my paracord. I like to use orange for visibility so I don't lose them on the ground or at night. Put a thumb knot on one end, and then move down a little bit and put another thumb knot. Now I'm going to wrap this around, and now bring my end of my cord through the second thumb knot in the same direction that the first one is exiting. So I'm going to go up this way to match this one. And now I'm going to cinch all of this down, and then as I start to tighten, my first thumb knot will jam against the second thumb knot, and so it stays tight. Now, oftentimes I look at these two and I don't know which one to pull on, or to release it. So in this case, I put a little bit of heat shrink tubing on one side. That way I know that the side at the heat shrink is the side I pull on to tighten, and the side without the heat shrink is the side I pull on to loosen. This heat shrink tubing, you can pick this up at any hardware store, electronics center. It's really cheap. This set come in pre-cut lengths. I cut the length in half. You can get them in a variety of different colors, white, black, red, blue, green, yellow, and they also come in a different variety of sizes. So this size I found was perfect for this piece of paracord, but I found other pieces for bigger ropes. It doubles the purpose because it helps me seize the end and makes this end just a little bit stiffer, kind of like a shoelace. So it's really convenient, and then it gives me an easy way to distinguish which side I need to pull and which side tightens and which side loosens. So I find the Canadian jam knot just a little bit more convenient and easier to work with rather than the lark's head with the overlapping lines. Now let's say if I wanted to make this a more permanent jam knot, let's say for example I was doing some type of stretcher or a pack frame and I wanted to make this more permanent so it doesn't back off, if I pull on this as hard as I can, it will over time back off a little bit. So I'm just going to back that off a little bit there now, and I'm going to take my end that I'm going to tighten. I'm going to take that end and I'm going to tuck it under here, and I'm going to take a hitch around here. I'm going to bring that down towards the end. Now again, I'm going to tighten on this as hard as I can. Tighten down on this. And now take this end, go through here, and I put a hitch here. Now when I pull on my end to loosen, it's not going to let go. So now to get this off of here now, you're really, if it gets really tight, you're probably going to have to cut it off.